Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online regulation H VGC ladder in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and provide live commentary as I go. In this video, I'm going to be featuring one of the strongest strategies in the format right now, which revolves around Rain. This Rain team in particular, though, is really fun because you've got Basculegion as well as Toxicroak. Toxicroak in particular is really fun. This Pokemon won the 2009 World Championship, so here we are 15 years later still using it all these generations later. The team also has the core of Pelipper plus Archaludon, which is just one of the most powerful duels right now, and the idea is that Pelipper enables all the attackers on this team in the Archaludon, in the Basculegion, and the Toxicroak, and Toxicroak in particular is a really fun Pokemon because with Clear Amulet, you are able to bypass Intimidate. You have a really good offensive matchup into a significant amount of the format with Close Combat, with Gunk Shot, and with Dark Terra Sucker Punch, and Fast Fake Out is also really valuable in this format. As always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps down below, and thanks so much as always for joining me. If you enjoy, would really appreciate it if you consider leaving a like on the video or subscribing to the channel. It really helps a ton. Anyway, let's dive into things. If you're interested in trying out the team, the rental code is on the screen, and there's also an accompanying Poke Paste down in the description below. This team utilizes Rain to really increase the damage output of Pokemon like Basculegion as well as Archaludon. Basculegion with Swift Swim, with that Water Terra Choice Band, is just an absolute monster with Wave Crash. Archaludon, when the Rain is set up, can just easily go for Electro Shots and continue to boost its special attack, and Toxicroak here, of course, takes advantage of the Rain by healing thanks to Dry Skin. You also have Incineroar and Amoonguss for support, and those are really valuable into teams that might otherwise give you some trouble. For example, Amoonguss for Dondozo, Incineroar for Trick Room-oriented matchups, and for teams that have a lot of physical Pokemon that you want to intimidate. Overall, though, you have a ton of damage output between Toxicroak, Archaludon, Basculegion, and Pelipper, and the idea is to just overwhelm your opponent with offense. Archaludon and Amoonguss plus Incineroar makes for a pretty good defensive core as well, where you can continue to heal yourself up with Pollen Puff. And Toxicroak, really effective late-game closer as well as Basculegion, especially if you've baited out your opponent's Terras already. Breaking down the team, the first Pokemon I want to highlight is Toxicroak. I was drawn to this team because of this Pokemon in particular, and it's so fun to use. It has a pretty high base attack stat, good base speed, and with Clear Amulet, this thing is an offensive beast. Incineroar and Rillaboom continue to exist everywhere in the format, and this Toxicroak has such an amazing matchup into those Pokemon. You have a fast Fake Out, so you'll be able to Fake Out both of those before they're able to move, and the combination of Gunk Shot, Close Combat, and Sucker Punch is just so powerful offensively. You've got Dark Terra Sucker Punch as well, which is able to catch opponents off guard, and Dark Terra is just nice defensively because of course it gives you immunity to psychic type moves. So for example, against Indeedee plus Armarouge, you can have Pelipper plus Toxicroak with that Dark Terra, and you can of course wall the expanding forces, which is awesome. I find that Toxicroak is really effective as a late game sweeper with this team. You can use it for early Fake Out to help Pelipper set up Tailwind, for example, but of course a good defensive Terra can just completely stop this Toxicroak, and because it's not the bulkiest Pokemon, you can just get KO'd in return. So what I often like to do is use it to disrupt and bait out Terras in the early game, then clean up games with it afterwards. You of course have a classic Pelipper here to enable the rest of the team. This is really straightforward, standard. The main thing to note is you do not have Wide Guard. If you want to run Wide Guard, you have to give up one of Weather Ball, Hurricane, Tailwind, and Protect, and all of these moves just feel too important for this Pelipper to give up. You have Ghost Terra here though, which is really important to call out because with Ghost Terra, Pelipper plus Basculegion is a really powerful lead. You can Ghost Terra immediately and suddenly Fake Out is just completely useless against both of your Pokemon, and you can apply a lot of pressure immediately. Choice Band Basculegion, really powerful option here. You've got the Aqua Jet, which of course is nice for priority, but the main attacks that you're going to be using are Wave Crash and Last Respects. Wave Crash, especially in the early game with Water Terra, with Pelipper, with the Rain support, you can just Terra immediately, Wave Crash, and obliterate things. There are very few things that can reliably take a Wave Crash from Basculegion when you have the Water Terra and the Rain and the Choice Band. Flip Turn is cool because it allows for some pivoting, right? So you can lead Pelipper, Basculegion, Flip Turn to go out into Archaludon, and then soak up damage, and then use Basculegion in the late game. Just keep in mind that when you click Wave Crash, you're going to take a ton of recoil damage, and so you normally want to be in a position where you're willing to trade in terms of recoil versus getting a knockout, for example. And keep in mind really defensive Terras like a Grass Terra, Water Terra that'll allow your opponents to survive the Wave Crash. Archaludon on this team, very straightforward, near max HP and special defense. You've got a classic moveset of Electro Shot, Body Press, Draco, and Flash Cannon with Grass Terra. Grass Terra is so helpful against Amoonguss so that you don't get spored. One of the main things I want to call out here is that you have 12 speed EVs, so against opposing Archaludons that have no speed investment, this can really pay dividends and just allow you to outspeed. And so sometimes just a little bit of speed investment can really be helpful and just completely win you a matchup because you just end up outpacing something, just with a little bit of investment, which I think is awesome. Of course, the thing about this Archaludon is that you don't have a way to increase like your stamina, but that's okay because I think this thing just often stays on the field and just clicks Electroshot, 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 and it can keep charging up. I find that this is a really strong offensive core of 4, and I bring this into most games, but you also have Incineroar and Amoonguss. These are obviously a lot more support-oriented, so you want to bring them, I think, in the certain matchups where they fit. Incineroar, for example, you've got the goggles, you've got taunt, so this is really valuable into things that are slower paced, like want to set up Trick Room, for example. Safety goggles, obviously, really valuable into opposing Amoongusses, and keep in mind you don't have Flare Blitz, and that makes sense because you have Pelipper on this team to set up the rain. The Amoonguss here is a Dondozo counter. You've got Clear Smog here, you've got Pollen Puff. Dondozos will be miserable when facing this Pokemon. Dondozo actually has a pretty good matchup against the rest of the team, and without Amoonguss, I think you actually really struggle against it. So this Pokemon just patches up the Dondozo matchup. You've got the Clear Smog to get rid of their boosts. You're really defensive here. Amoonguss here can survive a Wave Crash in rain against Dondozo, even when it's combined with Tatsugiri, which is a really big deal. And so, yeah, in my experience, I really bring this out a lot into the Dondozo matchups. One of the other things you can obviously do with it is side Pollen Puff. Now, you're not very bulky with any of your Pokemon outside of Archaludon and Incineroar, but in a matchup where you can see yourself getting your defense boosted continuously with Archaludon, Amoonguss with that side Pollen Puff, super valuable. In my experience, I generally lean towards this offensive core of 4 though, and bring Incineroar and Amoonguss only when necessary. So yeah, that's it for a quick breakdown. In terms of ways to play with the team, I love leading Pelipper with any of these 3. I think they're really effective. Tailwind is really good on Pelipper here, right? To just let Archaludon and Pelipper and Toxicroak outpace things. So Toxicroak, Pelipper, fake out Tailwind, for example. Pelipper, Basculegion, you just pressure with Water Terra immediately with Wave Crash, or you can flip turn out into Archaludon. Pelipper, Archaludon, you just get that Electro Shot boost immediately. And then I think you can lead a combination of Toxicroak, Basculegion, and Archaludon as well. For example, Toxicroak, Basculegion gives fake out pressure, or you can just hard switch Toxicroak into Pelipper immediately. I think when people don't see Pelipper being led, they sometimes don't think a little bit about, for example, Swift Swim getting activated immediately, or Electro Shot just being turned on online immediately. Of course, you could go with like Incin with Basculegion, Archaludon, Amoonguss with those as well, but those are just some modes. In terms of weaknesses, I think the first thing to point out is that your offensive options don't have Protect at all, right? So Archaludon's obviously vulnerable to getting doubled up onto pretty consistently. Basculegion here is Water Terra, so electric and grass type attacks are really scary for this, and you have no bulk either, right? So you got to be careful about super effective attacks. For example, Rillaboom going for Grassy Glider, Wood Hammer. Toxicroak here in general is pretty frail, so you have to be very careful about like defensive Terras from your opponent's end. I think if you take negative trades with this Pokemon, it feels really bad, right? Like say you go for a Gunk Shot, they go for a defensive Terra and knock you out in return. That doesn't feel awesome. And so these are all Pokemon that, of course, can do a ton of damage, but Basculegion and Toxicroak in particular, if they don't get a knockout, can just get retaliated back and get knocked out in return. I've had games where I went with like the fast mode, and then, you know, my opponent sets up Trick Room, for example, which can be really bad. And so that's something to watch out for. Opposing weather obviously can be a little bit scary. If they have sun, for example, then obviously Pelipper is doing less damage. You can't go for those Electro Shots. Basculegion is doing less damage. And so something like Manual Sun Whimsicott, for example, can be pretty scary as well. So those are just a couple of things that I've run into that have given me trouble. Okay, we've got Weezing with Alola Ninetales here, so multiple things that can disrupt us. Dragonite, Incineroar, Palafin, and Rillaboom. Toxicroak is looking really strong with its ability to close combat Incin, wall Palafin, and go for Gunk Shot onto Rillaboom as well as Ninetales. So I'm really interested in Toxicroak. Without abilities online in this game, it's not the end of the world. Like, I lean towards Toxicroak plus Archaludon lead with Pelipper and Basculegion in the back. I think we could maybe make an argument for Incineroar in this one, but I don't think it's necessary. The main reason I'd actually be interested in bringing Incineroar is for Taunt onto the Weezing, but Weezing's going to be faster than us anyway. So... And I don't know, Amoonguss is not bad here, but like in close team sheet, it's scary to bring because of the threat of Taunt, as well as the fact that we don't have Protect, and they have Alola Ninetales and Dragonite. Like, Dragonite could be Choice Band Aerial Ace, for example. But yeah, I think Toxicroak and Archaludon both exert a lot of pressure here immediately. I'm actually mainly thinking about how I deal enough damage to Weezing, because without the rain setup, it's not like I can really Electro Shot very easily. One answer is honestly get some chip damage onto it and then just Water Terra Wave Crash with Basculegion. That's not terrible. But yeah, I think Weezing is a really underrated Pokemon right now. Both regular Weezing as well as Galar Weezing. They're going to go Wheezing Incineroar. Okay. So this is probably Ability Shield. Neutralizing Gas. Yep. But we have Clear Amulet, so that's okay. Okay, what do I want to do? Could see Incineroar going for a Ghost Terra immediately. I obviously have Fake Out pressure. I also have Close Combat pressure. They could also like Fake Out into us though. This could have Will-O-Wisp. Honestly, I lean towards clicking Close Combat and Body Press. Okay, they just go for Fake Out onto Archaludon. That's fine. So we get Close Combat off into Incineroar, and that's a one-hit knockout. This is exactly why Clear Amulet Toxicroak is awesome. You get to ignore Intimidate, and then you just get to pressure a one-hit KO like that. So that's a really good start already. I'll take it. Probably Will-O-Wisp now. Yeah. But Toxicroak wasn't going to exert that much pressure onto Wheezing anyway, so I think to start off the game with the 4-3 lead is great. And even at Burn, Toxicroak is still doing meaningful damage to a lot of their team. Don't forget also Walls Palafin in case they brought that. Basically, I think right now the way I'm thinking about playing this game is targeting entirely around the Wheezing slot. Because like Wheezing just won't be able to do that much damage to us, right? So they bring out Dragonite. This could be normal Terra E-Speed, but if you are, then you're not really going to be able to threaten us very much. I think here I don't mind going for a Close Combat onto Dragonite and Draco Meteor onto it. My goal here, like I said, is to just, yeah, leave Wheezing out on the field. Wheezing should not be able to do very much into Archaludon. You're normally going to want to run a moveset of like Sludge Bomb, Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Protect. So let's see. I think this is where if I had Incineroar, it would have been interesting to consider pivoting it in, but we are going to see a Terra come out here. It's going to be onto the Dragonite, yep. Okay, it is normal Terra. I'm assuming they're just clicking Extreme Speed into our Toxicroak slot. Oh, they don't. They let me Close Combat them. Beautiful. That's exactly why I clicked Close Combat there. Would cover for normal Terra. Toxicroak has put in so much work here, even with the burn. They go for Low Kick, okay. Nice. Does a lot, but it doesn't get the knockout. Oh, we do miss Draco, though. Okay. Connecting there would have been huge. That's an unfortunate miss. Okay. Despite that, I think I'm still content just attacking with both here this turn. Yeah, Close Combat. And Draco. Dragonite switches, so... Is it Choice Banded? That makes sense. Rillaboom comes out now. Toxicroak is so good right now, though. Like, they can't do anything against it. Other than... Like, they could have clicked Extreme Speed. That would have been their best bet, right? This is also interesting. We miss another Draco. Oh, my goodness. Sludge Bomb into Croak. These misses are killing me right now. Now I would think you'd want to Fake Out into Toxicroak. And Sludge Bomb it. Fake Out into Toxicroak, Sludge Bomb it. I could consider switching out into Basculegion right now. Oh, the double misses have been tough. One other late game win con to think about, by the way, is Ghost Terra with this to be immune to Extreme Speed. But I might just let them knock Toxicroak out right now. I'll go for Gunk Shot here. I'm going to Flash Cannon here, because I don't think Draco would KO AV Rilla anyway. Okay, they let me Gunk Shot Rilla. And I get a poison, so no Fake Out comes out there. That's because they have high horsepower. Okay, that makes sense. And then a Sludge Bomb here onto us, yeah. I mean, Toxicroak was amazing for us in this game. Now it's a question, though, of can we convert this into a win? I think it's fine, but what I need to do is click... Oh, this turn is so interesting, because if you're my opponent, you could basically make this play of switching out Weezing into Dragonite, and then clicking Grassy Glide onto our Basculegion. But I have Aqua Jet here. I mean, Grassy Glide shouldn't KO us, so I don't think I actually need to be that worried about it, right? I don't want to blow my Terra here is the thing. Because of extreme speed. I'm going to Wave Crash into Rilla here. Hurricane into Weezing. Okay, they just stay in with both. They'll probably go for Will-O-Wisp here, but that's okay. Hurricane does connect. Ton of damage on a Weezing. Get them down to Citrus already. Okay, nice. Yep, Weezing connects on Will-O-Wisp. Okay. I think my main fear right now would probably be Choice Band, Dragonite Outrage. But I think what we can do is just Water Terra here. Do I even need to Water Terra is the question? I think it'd be crazy if they ended up clicking Extreme Speed into this slot, right? So, like, I want to just go for Water Terra this turn, Wave Crash into Dragonite, and protect with my Pelipper. Yeah. I'm guessing Dragonite's Choice Banded. I'm not even sure they'd want to click Extreme Speed here. I don't know how fast Dragonite is the problem. So maybe I could have clicked Tailwind last turn instead of Hurricane to get the speed onto Basculegion. Okay, so Peli protects. Nice, okay, we are just faster. Great. So Wave Crash comes out. Water Terra, Choice Band boosted. Despite the burn, that's still a knockout on a Dragonite. Perfect. Oh, Toxicroak and Basculegion were both so good for us in this game, and even though we missed 2 Draco Meteors, it was still okay. I think if we had hit the Draco onto Dragonite, like, we would have just KO'd immediately and win the game from that spot. Yeah, and they Sludge Bomb into Pelipper. I mean, Weezing was actually a huge nuisance for us in this game, right? Being able to deny Rain and burn both of our physical attackers, but I think they kind of just underestimated Toxicroak, and I was able to get so much damage with it. It got a one-hit knockout onto Incin, 50% onto the Dragonite, and like over 50% to Rillaboom. And it walled Palafin, making it hard for it to come out in this matchup. You can just Wave Crash here, Weather Ball here. I think the upside about facing against a Weezing like this is that it's relatively predictable in terms of moveset, right? Like Will-O-Wisp, Sludge Bomb, Taunt, Protect is very, very standard. So we at least know what it's going to do. That being said, it's still a nuisance for us. But yeah, I think like the really, really big turn in this game was when they went for Low Kick. But it makes sense because if you look at their team, Dragonite with Low Kick is the only way you can actually really hit Archaludon. So it felt like they kind of had to go for that. And the normal Terra also made sense from the spotlight they were in. Because obviously you don't want to just feint to a Draco Meteor. I don't think Weather Ball even KOs here. It does like no damage, yeah. But another one KOs, so we don't have to risk missing. Nice. And yeah, Basculegion here is just strong enough in the end, which is nice. My only fear was them making a crazy read of expecting Water Terra and just going for extreme speed onto Basculegion. But very, very happy to show off Toxicroak's ability and potential in this game. One of the reasons why I think Toxicroak is so cool is because the two common fake-out users in Incineroar and Rillaboom, I think both have really negative matchups against Toxicroak, where we pressure them with knockouts with close combat and gunk shot. We have a fast fake-out relative to them as well. Clear Amulet to block the Incineroar. So this Toxicroak specifically is really designed to give Incineroar a tough time. And yeah, I think like the Clear Amulet makes all the difference because we can just pressure with that one-hit knockout with close combat. Oh boy, we've got Lurantis here with Hydreigon, Indeedee, Whimsicott, Volcarona, and Hisuian Typhlosion. Sunny Day from Whimsicott, I think, is very apparent. The dry skin here is going to be very bad for us with the Toxicroak. Incineroar is worth leading here, but I have to be careful about its matchup into Lurantis. Like, basically, Whimsicott Typhlosion is the main lead I want to respect, right? Oh, you know what, though? They probably wouldn't anticipate Dark Terra Sucker Punch from Toxicroak. So I think I'm actually down for Toxicroak plus Pelipper lead. Force, like, bait them to Sunny Day against this, and then just Dark Terra Sucker Punch. And Weather Ball. That could work. And then in the back, go with... I don't even know if I want Basculegion that much here. I might bring Incineroar here. Don't mind Archaludon. I think I like Archaludon Incineroar. Yeah, my problem with Basculegion is that they have two things that resist Last Respects in Indeedee plus Hydreigon. And I don't think it's that easy to just like spam our water type damage here because of the threat of Sunny Day as well. But I'm hoping they just go with Whimsicott Typhlosion here, and I just go for, yeah, the Dark Terra Sucker Punch and catch them off guard. Although I guess they could just Fire Terra immediately with Typhlosion. A lot of mind games. It's going to be Lurantis Indeedee. Okay. Huh. Interesting. We're faster with Pelipper against Indeedee, which is a big deal here. No Psychic Seed on Indeedee. I mean, to be honest, Lurantis is caught in a pretty tough spot right now. I'm leaning towards doubling up onto Indeedee for the knockout. Lurantis could protect, and Indeedee could Psychic Toxicroak, which is my main fear. So I think I want to just go for close combat onto this. The only thing I could switch into close combat on their team would be Volcarona or Typhlosion. Actually, no. What am I saying? Everything can switch into close combat, basically, other than Hydreigon. But close combat plus Weather Ball should be a good combo here. Okay, they just go for Follow Me. That's fine, I guess. Follow Me into Superpower, maybe? Okay. No Rocky Helmet. I could have gone for Gunk Shot there, by the way, but I really didn't want to risk a 20% chance to miss for Indeedee to not go for Follow Me and then eat up a Psychic and just faint. Okay, they Superpower into Pelipper. That's not too bad. We'll give them the attack and defense boost, though, obviously. Crazily enough, maybe I should have brought a Amoonguss just to deal with Lurantis, but I didn't think Lurantis would actually be too much of a problem. But with Psychic Terrain up, now my Incineroar Bring is really weak. I mainly brought it as a potential switch it into Typhlosion. Typhlosion does hit the field, okay. But I can't Dark Terra Sucker Punch it. Lurantis, I think, should Terra here, personally. I still have Dry Skin, so, like, you know, Specs Typhlosion still is going to hurt. I lean towards wanting to switch out into Archaludon right now. And going for Weather Ball into Typhlosion. I guess they could just spec Shadow Ball Pelly here, right? Potentially. Terra, hoping it's from the Lurantis. Yep, into what? Terra Fire. Well, Basculegion would have been a pretty good bring. Lurantis might just beat my team. They do Shadow Ball into us, okay. That makes sense. But we survive. Okay, that's nice. If Lurantis didn't target down Pelipper, then this would be huge. Okay, they go for knockoff onto Peli. Basculegion would have just won the game here probably immediately, but just felt so difficult that I'd actually be able to effectively get it. Bring Toxicroak back out. Our last one's Volcarona. Okay. So I can't click Fake Out. I guess Electro Shot here is just really powerful though, and I can Grass Terra to get around Superpower being super effective. So I lean towards going for Grass Terra. Electro Shot into Lurantis. And Gunk Shot into it. Unfortunately, Incineroar was the worst spring possible into Lurantis here. Both the Mungus and Basculegion would have been a lot more effective. I think I just got a little bit spooked by Whimsicott Typhlosion as a combo. Okay, Volt Quiver Dances. That's okay, though, I think. Incin is actually quite good into Volk. That's the one upside for us. Gunk Shot connects. That's a lot of damage into Lurantis. I'm pretty sure Electro Shot just KOs. Oh, and we're faster as well. Okay, sick. Maybe I didn't need to be that worried about Lurantis. Cool. Oh, it does survive. Oh, it's probably Assault Vested. That would make sense. Yeah. They superpower into us. We were lucky and got the poison there. I think they might faint from poison, which would be huge. Stamina gives us the boost. Lurantis does faint from poison. Okay, Toxicroak was really clutch in getting that poison for us then. So Lurantis now faints. They could Heat Wave, obviously. Still 2 turns of rain, which is good. So I think what I want to do is Electro Shot into Volcarona here and then switch into Incineroar. It's a huge question of what fire type attack Volcarona is running. If it's a single target attack, this becomes way easier. But I think Volk is also kind of walled by Incin right now, which is good. Bug Buzz! Oh, they have Bug Buzz. That's the worst last attack for us to run into. Okay. Oh, wow. That's not common on Volk, which is hilarious since it is bug type. Normally, it's like Heat Wave or like Fiery Dance, Giga Drain. Okay, now I guess I Gunk Shot and knock off. You just protect here, though. Go for another Quiver Dance. Okay. I think that's pretty risky. Does Gunk Shot connect now? Nice. Good job, Toxicroak. That almost just gets the one-hit knockout. Wow, and knockoff just KOs them. Did they not have Protect? I think going for a second Quiver Dance, I think they must have not have Protect, in my opinion, if they went for that. It's leftovers. I don't know. I think if you have Protect, you definitely just go for it there, because then you stall out the rain, and then with Dry Skin on Toxicroak, you just deal more damage with your fire type attack, right? So Protect, stall out rain into Heat Wave, for example, would have been really scary for us. I guess the upside is I still would have had Sucker Punch into knockoff, into another knockoff, so like we might have still been fine anyway with us having Sucker Punch and knockoff. But Bug Buzz was really scary because, yeah, against like the normal Volcaronas with, for example, like Heat Wave and Giga Drain, we'd be able to wall them more effectively. We were quite lucky in this one that Toxicroak was able to get the poison onto Lurantis and be able to get the connect with the Gunk Shots, right? Because Gunk Shot obviously can miss. But that's why I opted for Gunk Shot against the Serena, or sorry, not the Serena, the Lurantis. I also wanted to respect Rage Powder from Volcarona because we didn't know what kind of Volcarona set that would have been, right? But yeah, Basculegion would have just won us that game immediately if I had it in the back over Incineroar. So even though I was really scared about bringing Basculegion into this matchup, I don't think I needed to be as much. So you know, even when you win games in VGC, you can always assess what you could have done better in team preview. And in this one, I think Incineroar was just kind of a miss. Although it did actually help against the Volcarona. Like, I would have liked to see the end game where they didn't go for, like, they went for Protect, and then I'm forced to go for Sucker Punch into Knockoff, into another Knockoff. I don't know if that's enough to knock out Volcarona, but the Volcarona also didn't appear to be, like, the bulkiest either. But that was really intense. Okay, we've got Sand now. Tyranitar, Excadrill, Alolan Ninetales, Volcarona, Gallade, Indeedee, Male. What do we want to do here? I think the top 4 works okay here. Archaludon lead is interesting, although like Gallade with Sacred Sword is really good into Archaludon. I'm actually really worried about Gallade specifically in this one. Because it pressures so much damage on both Toxicroak as well as Archaludon. Maybe I want to lead Basculegion here. Because they have no water resistances. So like Basculegion, Toxicroak lead means I can just pivot in Pelipper turn 1. Double weather from their end though is intriguing. They can only have 1 Clear Amulet here as well, but I don't know. Like, I want to bring Incin, but my problem is that, like, it's still really weak to Gallade, Excadrill, and Tyranitar, even with Intimidate. Like, I'm still taking super effective damage, and we don't have Will-O-Wisp either. Taunt's not that effective in this one. No Flare Blitz. If I had Flare Blitz, I think I'd actually consider bringing in a lot more. And Amoonguss into this matchup doesn't feel great, right? Like, Indeedee, Male, and Gallade are both super offensive. I can't protect with Amoonguss either, but I think on paper this matchup is really scary because of the weather they have, right? So let's see. Double weather means it's just so much harder to effectively have the rain up. But they'll have Tyranitar. They'll have Alolan Ninetales. Croak is decent against those. So let's see. Gallade and Excadrill. Okay. I lean towards switching Toxicroak out into Pelipper and just wave crashing here. Maybe I want to commit the Water Terra though. I don't think I need to. Yeah, okay. Wave Crash, switch in Pellies. I'm looking at this. I also thought about just straight up going for Dark Terra, because I think Dark Terra here is pretty good on turn 1 to become immune to Psycho Cut and close combat. I can close combat into Excadrill. I think the other thing is I don't know where the Sash is on their team. There are a lot of Pokemon that I think would like to potentially run it. My dream would be Excadrill protects turn 1 and we just basically snipe the Gallade immediately. But they might just switch into T-Tar. Okay, cool. Neither Pokemon Protector switch. Banded Wave Crash gets the KO. Nice. So it's a big threat to Toxicroak out of the way, at least. We'll go for Rock Slide. Okay. That's a lot of damage onto... Well, I guess Basculegion took a fair bit of recoil. Tyranitar now comes out, yeah. But Wave Crash shouldn't pick up the double knockout right now. I do have Tailwind, but I mean, Pelipper into Archaludon is a pretty safe switch. I think I want to Wave Crash T-Tar, switch into... Yeah, Wave Crash T-Tar, switch into Archaludon. That was a nice Rock Slide. I really thought they'd consider just going for a ground type attack. A lot of Excadrills don't even carry Rock Slide because you want one Earthquake, High Horsepower, Iron Head Protect. Spark switches in. Just go for another Rock Slide, okay. Yeah, we survived that. And I get a Stamina boost. And we don't flinch. Okay, awesome. Choice Band Wave Crash now into Tyranitar. That's a one-hit knockout. So, I've just gained weather control in this game, which is huge. Surprised they were willing to click Excadrill's Rock Slide like that when there's the threat of Wide Guard. Like, High Horsepower there I thought would have been really effective into us. Down to bring out Toxicroak first to see what their last one is, because this pressure is with Fake Out right now. Fake Out plus Body Press, for example. Alolan Ninetales, maybe? Is that Indeedee? Oh, interesting. Okay. I think Dark Terra here is very good. I also don't hate switching. I mean, we have Grass Terra on this, but I think Indeedee is the primary threat right now, and we have the defense boost on this. I lean towards going for Grass Terra, or sorry, Dark Terra to survive the turn against Indeedee. Close combat. And Flash Cannon. There's a Terra from their end, okay. Into Indeedee, what are you tearing into? Terra Psychic. I mean, that's okay for this turn. Close combat, Flash Cannon might even still get the KO. Dark Terra is huge here, right? Because I'll be able to survive the Psychic and basically take no damage this turn from it. But I think, yeah, Indeedee setting up terrain to block Fake Out and Sucker Punch is unfortunate for us here. Okay, they go for another Rock Slide. That's fine. They might just Hyper Voice here. Let's see. Okay, it's Expanding Force. Nice. That's good. We get another Stamina boost. Life Orb Indeedee. No flinch. Okay. Flash Cannon plus Sand, I think, takes care of Indeedee if we don't flinch here. So let's see. Okay, I do flinch. But I am at +3 defense now. It would make sense for this to Hyper Voice. So I'll switch into Pelly right now. And Flash Cannon. Okay. Yeah, I mean, with Rock Slide, the odds of them getting a flinch at some point were decently high, so I can't be, you know, too upset about this last turn. Oh, they go for Iron Head. Okay, sweet. Nice. And Expanding Force. Perfect. That means you cannot get a flinch on me this turn. Beautiful. Okay. We get another defense boost. Iron Head, Rock Slide. I mean, surely you have a ground type attack, right? Flash Cannon finishes off the Indeedee. Cool. Indeedee faints. We bring Croak back out. I think my main fear right now would be Earthquake. I mean, Archaludon's at what, +3 or +4? We're at +4, okay. 3 turns of Psychic Terrain, so the one thing we want to make sure is we don't click Fake Out or Sucker Punch right now, or Gunk Shot's always close combat here. And Body Press. Nice. Hang on with 4 HP there. Close combat. I'm assuming they're Sash this whole time. Yeah. I think I would have lost this game if they had just gone for... If the knockout happened there. But yeah, them like clicking Rock Slide so many times allows Archaludon to stack up with these defense boosts and we get the knockout. It's interesting they didn't bring Ninetales here for double weather, but yeah, even though we were up so much in this game, the combination of Sash Excadrill plus Psychic Terra Indeedee with Life Orb Expanding Force was actually really powerful. But Dark Terra Toxicroak was so essential for us in this game to let us hang on. So that was really scary, and a lot of fun techs on their team there. I mean, the Indeedee being so like offensive, I think like Indeedee Male is just an underrated offensive option, and Expanding Force with Life Orb in terrain is just so powerful. And I think, yeah, Gallade just applied a lot of offensive pressure. I wasn't sure what item the Excadrill was going to be. I think they could have maybe just considered high horsepower into Basculegion, because they allowed me to... Well, I guess the weather control didn't matter in the end since the Excadrill was still faster than Toxicroak, right? So, that was part of the problem. If, like, we would actually end up outspeeding with Toxicroak in that end game, then we would always win. Because the Toxicroak would always get CC off against Excadrill first, and then even if you were to KO Archaludon, we would just CC you again. But in this case, because I would eat up the defense drop, then an Iron Head from Excadrill I would think would knock out Toxicroak. So, yeah, the 4 HP on Archaludon was super clutch there to allow us to win the game. Okay, this feels like 2014 with Hydreigon, Talonflame, Gyarados, Mienshao, and Amoonguss. That would have been a legal team back then. And then we've got Golden Go. Tailwind Pressure, Amoonguss Pressure, Intimidate. I mean, to me, I think Archaludon is the clear #1 choice in this game. I might go with Amoonguss just for Pollen Puff into Archaludon in this one. I think Toxicroak is not good here, which makes me sad. But that's okay. Like, I think Pelipper Archaludon just exerts a lot of pressure immediately. I like Amoonguss in the back to soak up Spores, because then I can just Grass Terra, and then I have 2 things that are immune. I might still go Basculegion 4th, because this can switch into Golden Go. You could make an argument for Incineroar as well, but yeah, to me, I think Archaludon can, like, has a really favorable matchup into most of my opponent's team here, so this game feels like protecting Archaludon. I think one of the things that makes this team so effective is you have so many tools, right? Toxicroak, Pelipper, Archaludon, Basculegion. I mean, especially Basculegion and Archaludon. But basically, like, you have so much offense that if you can just support the right option, you can often carry yourself to a victory. Maybe Hydreigon Mienshao here. Okay. I have Tailwind here, which is nice. I almost wonder if they ever consider just close combating and Draco Meteoring into Archaludon to start this game. I can see Fake Out plus Draco come out on turn 1 here as well. I might actually switch into Basculegion here and Hurricane turn 1 into Hydreigon. Basically, the logic here is, like, I think Archaludon is such a big threat to their team that they need to show it a lot of respect here, right? So I think, like, Fake Out Draco here would make a lot of sense. This is where if he had Fairy Terra, by the way, we'd be in really good shape. Because I could just Fairy Terra turn 1 very safely. Okay, they just Taunt into Pelipper, which is fine. But I do just eat up Draco right away, which is scary. That being said, I actually don't think that's the end of the world because, in my opinion, the most important Pokemon on this in this matchup is going to be the Archaludon. So we get Hurricane. Now I can bring in Archaludon. Okay. I think it's fine to just commit Grass Terra in this game. The only thing that makes me weak to is Talonflame's Brave Bird, but that's okay. Here I'm willing to commit my Terra, and I'm going to go for Electro Shot into Mienshao and switch out into Amoonguss. Archaludon was always the win condition in this matchup, so that's why I wanted to, try to preserve it in this one. For example, if I had stayed in last turn, even if I survived Draco, which I should with Assault Vest, and I KO them in return, it's not actually even that great of a trade for me, because I just eat up so much damage immediately. I am still playing from behind right now, and like this turn, they obviously threaten with a lot of damage as well, but I'm hoping with this Terra, like I eat up close combat plus Draco, and then I can go for a side Pollen Puff now in subsequent turns. Yep. Okay, I think like close combat Draco into Pelipper is the safest play for them to make, so this makes a lot of sense to me. But I'm happy seeing Hydreigon stay in here, because now you're at -4. Yep, we survived. Perfect. Okay. This is playing exactly how I've wanted it to so far. This next turn is interesting because obviously my opponent has revealed that they have Taunt on Mienshao, but I'm still thinking about going for Spore onto the Mienshao slot because I want to just make that slot like useless for a bit. But obviously I could pressure like, Electro Shot into the Hydreigon slot right now. Yeah, we bring Mienshao out of Sash. One thing to think about is also like trying to use both Regenerator, but also like having enough turns of Rain. I think Amoonguss switching out into Pelipper this turn is pretty interesting. I'm going to click Electro Shot into Hydreigon. They might close combat Draco again into Amoonguss, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to Electro Shot Hydreigon. I'm just thinking about what I want to do with the my Amoonguss slot. I think I actually want to switch. No, I think I'll go for the double KO. Pollen Puff. Yep, Hydreigon switches. That's fine. This is great because it means Mienshao is just close combating me, I assume. Yeah, Amoonguss comes out from their end. That's fine. Ooh, that's a good knockoff. Okay, it does give me a stamina boost, but that's scary. Losing Assault Vest now means that you can obviously just nuke me with Draco Meteor. That being said, you should be Specs Hydreigon on the opposing side. Your Amoonguss on my opponent's side shouldn't be too much of a threat. I might just want to Draco it, though, to get rid of Amoonguss right now. Yeah, good knockoff. That could have been a Spore into Mienshao. That was the play I was talking about. Or it could have been Rage Powder just to get, like, keep my Assault Vest. Okay, it's at least not Golden Go coming out here. That would have been bad. If you're my opponent, you can always safely launch Draco into the Hydreigon slot. I don't really care for their Amoonguss. Still 2 turns of rain. I'm just worried about what the last one is. I'm going to go Flash Cannon into Hydreigon here and Rage Powder. Oh, Amoonguss switches. Okay. That makes sense for Regenerator. Golden Go is the last one. Oh, they went for Heat Wave. I get burnt. I mean, it's not going to be Specs Golden Go, right? That's not a good burn, though, because I Make It Rain might just KO me now. Great Heat Wave, though. Could have gone side Pollen Puff here this turn. It's going to be a very close finish. I wonder if that burn damage actually allows Golden Go to finish me off now. But that knockoff was huge because, yeah, they had, like, all special attackers. I actually think Rage Powder with the Amoonguss may have been the play. I also don't know. I mean, Golden Go should be faster than us right now, I would think. Oh, +2. The thing is, I think Pelipper could also win a 1v1 against the Golden Go. I want to go for Draco onto Amoonguss here. You could also protect Amoonguss and... Actually, because we're at +2, a +3 Electro Shot should KO Golden Go. So I want to Electro Shot here and side Pollen Puff in case they try to Nasty Plot for some reason. But they Terra. Okay, it's probably just Steel Terra here then. And just Make It Rain. Dragon Terra. That would allow them to survive Electro Shot. Okay. Wondering if they went for the Protect play. Protect Nasty Plot. Nope, just Make It Rain. And we do Faint. Really wonder what the calc was there. And then you could just Spore into the Amoonguss slot. The Mienshao knockoff was very, very nice by them. Onto Archaludon. And I didn't think about the consequences. And then the decision to go for Heat Wave as well to get chip damage onto Archaludon was really smart. So, I like how my opponent played this game. I think they did a really good job throughout. Turn 1 was nice for us. Turn 2 was also pretty nice. I could have maybe read into the Amoonguss switch in and just gone Draco there. This also still wasn't 100% over. Like, I think I could win this if, like, Amoonguss here goes... I mean, they should... Like, Rage Powder's just pretty safe. I'm going to target Golden Go. Alright, they just go for Shadow Ball, okay. Yeah, like I was hoping Amoonguss protects, we get a confusion here with Hurricane, but Spore here just puts us to sleep. Yep, nicely done. Very well played. This was super close, I think. Yeah, it was leftovers as well. So I'm curious about the Make It Rain calc onto the Archaludon. But they went for Dragon Terra anyway, so I would have fainted. +3 Electro Shot wouldn't have gotten the knockout anyway. But it meant that if I had survived and Draco to Amoonguss, I could get that knockout. And then it's Peli versus Golden Go and 2 Shadow Balls. We actually end up surviving. But then I think 2 Hurricanes might not even knock out the Golden Go. I think the big turns were knockoff into the Archaludon slot. And then also just turn 1, like my Archaludon was kind of caught in a tricky spot immediately. And I did switch. I maybe could have just stayed in, quite frankly, eaten up the Draco. I think my problem is thinking about how I beat Golden Go afterwards. But I guess Basculegion... What we could have done was use late game Basculegion with Last Respects, I think, in this game. Yeah. But I think I was just... like, I thought Archaludon was a very clear win condition in this one, so I don't regret preserving it, but basically I, like, you know, had to make this, like, aggressive switch on turn 1, and that didn't feel super good. Incin didn't come out into this matchup. Would have been good into Amoonguss plus Golden Go, but really bad into Mienshao Hydreigon. My Amoonguss is really bad into their Golden Go. I don't think I'd actually drop anything for Incin, honestly. But maybe I would lead this a little bit differently. What would I even lead, though? Yeah, I mean, like, we did end up bringing my Amoonguss, right? I don't think Toxicroak really... I mean, Toxicroak, given that they were Specs Hydreigon, would have had Fake Out Pressure into Hydreigon. So it could have gone Toxicroak plus Pelipper. Fake Out Hydreigon. I guess they could just Fake Out my Toxicroak, though, right? So, I don't know. I think Croak would have been okay. I think Amoonguss was fine. I think if I had gone for the Spore play rather than Knockout Mienshao to give them a free switch in, that could have been okay as well. But I think as soon as I lose my Assault Vest, I'm just at so much more danger from Golden Go and the Hydreigon. So, yeah, I think my opponent played this mid to end game really, really nicely. And I think being able to remove Assault Vest from the Archaludon is a really big deal. All right, rank 52 here. We've got Sylveon, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Golden Go, Palafin, and Murkrow. All right. Immediate impression is that Archaludon should be really good here. Toxicroak has a pretty awesome offensive matchup into a lot, and having Dry Skin is amazing into Palafin. The main thing Croak has to watch out for is that Golden Go. I think forcing Terras out here can be really valuable for us. Murkrow could have Sunny Day, so that's one thing to watch out for, especially if it ends up going for Sunny Day as we try to Electro Shot, for example. I think I'm intrigued by Pelipper Toxicroak. Or Pelipper Basculegion. I think Murkrow plus Palafin is definitely a viable lead from their end. To which they'll probably want to switch out immediately. Maybe I want to go for Toxicroak for Fake Out Pressure then. With Archaludon and Basculegion in the back. I think we could also probably swap Bask out here. But I like the amount of offensive pressure it has to offer, especially into Golden Go. So, yeah, this is a really just strong team for my opponent's end. You have, like, the Fire, Water, Grass core between Incineroar as well as Palafin. And then you have two really strong spread attackers in Golden Go as well as Sylveon. So, let's see. But I think Toxicroak has huge potential for us in this one. I think, yeah, if it's Croak Pelipper against Murkrow Palafin, we have, like, Fake Out Weather Ball pressure. That is the lead, okay. Nice. The other interesting thing here is, like, potentially just reading the Palafin switch immediately, right? For example, I think you could switch into Golden Go. Murkrow, theoretically, like, you could just protect Palafin here on turn 1, but I think Palafin switching would make a lot of sense. I think a Golden Go switching would certainly make sense. I think for now I'm okay going for Weather Ball and Fake Out onto Murkrow. Yep, Palafin switches. Let's see what comes out. Sylveon maybe? Is that Incin? Okay, this is where having Clear Amulet's awesome. Now I can just close combat that slot next turn. We get Fake Out. They flinch. We get Weather Ball. Awesome. Oh, that's so much damage. Wow. Okay, Basculegion plus Archaludon. You can Fake Out now. I have Tailwind. I have Weather Ball. I don't mind going for Tailwind here in close combat. It would make sense for Incin to click Fake Out into Toxicroak. I'm curious if Murkrow has, like, Brave Bird, for example. You'd be able to hit Toxicroak for super effective. But that was a pretty sweet turn 1. It would have been awesome if we actually got the knockout on Murkrow, but I don't think I was ever expecting a KO there. Okay, they're just going to Tailwind here. So we'll trade Tailwinds. They're probably going to Parting Shot us. Yep. Okay. This is where you should bring in Golden Go right now if you have it. I guess Sylveon would also be viable. But the good thing is that we're going to match the Tailwind. Okay, the final Pokemon. Yep, it's Golden Go. Nice switch. Eats up close combat. Nice setup Tailwind. So the interesting thing here is I do have this Dark Terra Sucker Punch into Golden Go, right? In my opinion, like, this is the most important Pokemon in this matchup because it walls Palafin and it beats Incin in the late game. So I think right now I'm actually interested in just clicking Weather Ball into Golden Go and then switching out into Archaludon. If this is Sunny Day, this would also be hilarious because then I would get a super effective Weather Ball into Golden Go if they turn the weather into sun. But, like, I don't want to go for the Dark Terra Sucker Punch yet. I think that's a huge surprise we can catch our opponent off guard with later, but I don't think Golden Go will even consider... I mean, like, yeah, Make It Rain here, would you even click, right? Switch to Instant and then Protect here would make sense from their end. Okay, we don't care for Intimidate here. Would have been cool if I just close combated the Murkrow slot this turn. But yeah, they go for Nasty Plot, which is fine. We get a Weather Ball off. It's really good damage. Wow. Do not underestimate Pelipper's damage output. This thing does so much. Okay. Now you have Fake Out plus Shadow Ball pressure. I want to Electro Shock Golden Go for sure. I could Protect here with Pelipper. We do have Ghost Terra, which gets around Fake Out, which is actually pretty sweet. I do think Water Terra Basculegion is not a bad endgame Pokemon. Yeah, I think here I don't mind going for the Protect plus Electro Shot. Okay, Golden Go protects, that's fine. I'm assuming if they're going for that, they're considering knockoff into the Archaludon slot, so then you can Shadow Ball it next turn, which would be a smart play. The question is whether or not +2 Shadow Ball even KOs. Oh no, they Parting Shot into Pelipper. Okay, I'll take that. That's really good for us, in my opinion. Once we eliminate Golden Go, I think the door is clear for Toxicroak to win this endgame. So here, I don't mind going for Weather Ball and Electro Shot into Golden Go. Just one of the things to think about is because they conserve Murkrow, they do have a potential second Tailwind coming up, and I have to be careful about that. But yeah, I think Toxicroak is huge for us in this endgame. With Murkrow as low as it is, it can close combat, one-shot Incin, close combat, finish off Murkrow, and then wall Palafin's attacks. They're just going to Shadow Ball into Pelipper, which is totally fine by me. Like, at this point, I'm not really sure how they deal with Archaludon, but it makes sense to click Shadow Ball there, because obviously I resist Make It Rain, and you have to respect Wide Guard as well. The downside here is I don't think Weather Ball will get the knockout. Yeah, so I could have maybe gone for Weather Ball into the Instant slot there, but I'm still okay with this. Because you either Parting Shot, and if you Parting Shot, you give me a free switch into Toxicroak. Sorry, you don't give me a free switch into Toxicroak, but then I still have Pelipper out, so then I can just switch out and back in. And I just wanted to ensure let Electroshock KO Golden Go, but at +2 special attack, I think we probably always KO, honestly. Okay, they're going to go for knockoff, which I'm fine with. This means no more Rain, but that's okay. So they could go out into Palafin right now. Rain stops, but now it's a free switch into Toxicroak from my end. And then we can still use Basculegion in the late game for Aqua Jet, right? I could just go into Basculegion right now as well. I actually think it's fine to go into Bask right now, right? Because we'll just outspeed. Yeah, they bring out Palafin. Cool. So with this, I can just go for Aqua Jet plus Body Press onto Incineroar with no consequence. I mean, why Aqua Jet? Like, the reason is so that I can just finish off Murkrow. Although Murkrow being max speed would make some sense. But we wall with this anyway. Yeah, I'm down for this. Aqua Jet Body Press. Cool, they switch out. Yeah, so this was part of the idea behind Aqua Jet Body Press, where now Aqua Jet just finishes off the Murkrow, and I still have it online. Okay, they're going to commit Terra here, which is fine. Because if this is traditional Palafin with just double water... okay, if they're going for Stellar Terra here, I would guess they have close combat. That's my best bet. But I think Toxicroak now wins this endgame for us. Because it just walls Basculegion, and then I can just close combat into... Yep, it is going to be close combat from Palafin. Okay, that's cool. And they don't even get the one-hit knockout. Nice. Sweet. Okay. We get a stamina boost. Body Press does a decent amount. So now no more Terra from their end. You have close combat. It's probably, you know... Jet Punch plus Wave Crash. Instinct comes back in. I'll just wait for the free switch into Toxicroak right now. Should I just commit my Terra here with Basculegion? I'm not going to Dark Terra this, right? Yeah, so I think it's fine to Terra Aqua Jet here. Well, actually, I guess they might try to, like, click Fake Out into us. So it's better to just Aqua Jet here, I think, this turn. Body Press. Oh, I guess they could knock off here now. They're going to close combat us. Yeah, they didn't go for Fake Out on... I thought they would, like, Fake Out Archaludon. So, yeah, tearing here to cover for knockoff, I think, probably was the play. But I think it's still fine because Toxicroak now just wins. I can just close combat. But as a result, I think it was actually better to just Terra here. Let's see if knockoff one-shots us. Yeah, it does. So, tearing would have been better. Just to survive the turn. And then I would have done more into Incin. But I think it's fine anyway, since Toxicroak... Like, my main endgame win con was always going to be Toxicroak here. And it just walls Palafin perfectly for us here, right? You cannot click your water-type attacks into us, and we resist your close combat. So I'll just close combat into Incin now. Because Incin could Flare Blitz or Will-O-Wisp us. And then we definitely don't want to Terra Dark Toxicroak, because then we're weak to close combat. But I think close combat should just KO both of their Pokemon right now. But we're going to KO Incin here because I'm worried about, you know, dry skin. And then taking more damage from a Flare Blitz. So Incin faints. Nice. This is why I was so hyper-focused on KOing Goldengo, right? I knew once Goldengo fainted, I thought Toxicroak would just completely win us this game. So now I can just close combat into Palafin. They're at -2 defense. And that's Toxicroak, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what an awesome feature here. We didn't need our Terra in the end, but yeah, I think tearing Basculegion would have still been the smarter play. I was just like, what if they get fancy and they read into Terra and they click Fake Out into us? But in my head, I was like, even if we lose both of our Pokemon here, totally is fine, because I don't see how they ever beat Toxicroak. Even with close combat, they already committed the Stellar Terra. You already got your burst of damage there. So yeah, Toxicroak is just like the perfect wall for Palafin, and for Water-type Pokemon in general, right? It causes a lot of issues, and so... In team preview, I was like, okay, look, the only thing that really threatens Toxicroak is that Goldengo, because they could, like, defensively Terra, for example. Steel Terra does more damage, also gets around the, you know, Sucker Punch being super effective. So I didn't want to just commit to, like, Dark Terra, Sucker Punch immediately. I was trying to bait out my Terra, or my opponent's Terra, or knock out Goldengo. And once we eliminated that Goldengo, I knew Toxicroak would just be able to sweep. So I think the other decisions, I don't know if I really needed to click Aqua Jet with the Basculegion. I probably could have just gone for, like, Wave Crash. Yeah, especially since the Basculegion on this team is max speed and Archaludon doesn't have speed investment. I was just thinking of, like, the priority being able to, if, like, Basculegion's faster than Murkrow, being able to deny Murkrow an attack with the Aqua Jet. So that was kind of the logic there. But I think I also could have just considered going for Wave Crash or Flip Turn, for example. But I think I also just, yeah, wanted to get Toxicroak out in the right spot. And I knew that if I just got one more knockout, Toxicroak should be able to win the game for us. So really, really happy about Toxicroak's performance here. That's a Rillaboom. Okay. Primarina, Got to Tell, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Incineroar, Goldengo. Okay, Rillaboom is really scary. It's kind of a wild card here. I can't switch very easily, but I could obviously bring Basculegion. The lead I'm thinking about is Pelipper Basculegion, which gives us good pivoting. Because I can Ghost Terra with this to get out of Gothitel's trap. The damage output from Toxicroak's amazing, but I have to worry about Trick Room potentially. Amoonguss I worry with Taunt Pressure here, so I think I'll go with Archaludon. But yeah, Ribombee is just the big wild card here. And I think with Gothitelle, I always am cautious about just it trapping us in immediately. So yeah, I'll go with the Pelipper and the not the Palafin. We just fought against Palafin, Basculegion. Ribombee is really fast. This could be Tailwind or Trick Room. I think, like, my problem is if I lead Toxicroak and Gothitelle has a Psychic type attack, offensive Psychic type attack, we kind of just get melted, right? I could obviously Dark Terra, but then I really don't want to commit my Terra that early on Toxicroak. I think Toxicroak in this matchup is also an effective late game sweeper because we have super effective attacks into a lot of things, but the thing about Toxicroak is because it's not very bulky, you really want to bait out your opponent's Terra early on so that they can't make a good defensive play when you try to sweep with it in the end game, right? So that's kind of what we did in that first game where we baited out Palafin's Terra, and then we're just able to go from there. So, let's see. Okay, it's going to be Ursaluna and Gothitelle. That works for me. I mean, quite frankly, I think we can just send it with Basculegion here with Wave Crash. I think I will Ghost Terra here because I want the optionality of switching out. Ghost Terra. I'm more worried about Trick Room being set up, so I'm thinking of doubling up onto Gothitelle. I do have Flip Turn here, which is interesting. But I don't know if that gets the knockout. Yeah, I'm just going to Ghost Terra, Weather Ball, and Wave Crash. They stay in with Ursaluna. Okay. This could be Protect Gothitelle, normal Terra Ursaluna and attack, and if that's the case, this feels really bad. Because I could have just doubled up onto Ursaluna instead. They are tearing with Ursaluna. Okay, not a great start. This is fine, though, if Gothitelle doesn't Protect, because we'll still knock that out, and then I can... Oh! Water Terra? Okay, that makes sense. And then you're probably just going for Protect Ursaluna then, I would think, and then Trick Room. Yeah, this was a really safe play. Okay, nicely done by my opponent. I could have maybe gone for Hurricane then instead of Weather Ball. Oh my gosh, I think Hurricane might have just KO'd. If it's not Citrus. Oh, it definitely would have. Maybe this still even KOs. Ha, close. Yeah. Okay. You have Hyper Voice now. I want to switch this out so I can Aqua Jet. Hyper Voice Psychic is definitely a possible play, but like you also have to worry about, like, I actually think it's fine to just stay in with both right now and double up on Ursaluna, now that I think about it. And just like, yeah, pressure you. Okay, they're going to Psychic. I assume Hyper Voice here, but like you have to be worried about Wide Guard. Yeah, and as a result they go for Blood Moon. Okay, cool. So Basque Feints. They do have Psychic on Goth, though, which is not great for Toxicroak. Put the Weather Ball here. Nice. That one-shot's cool. Let's see. I think I would prefer to bring Archaludon out right now. But Toxicroak does give me Fake Out. I think Archaludon out first still, though. And they bring out Golden Go. Okay, Golden Go I don't mind seeing, because I can Sucker Punch you. What do we think their last one is? Ribombee, Incin, Primarina. Either way, say this is in a good spot. I don't mind protecting here and going for Electro Shot this turn onto Golden Go. I'm intentionally not knocking out Gothitelle because I don't want to give them a free switch in into whatever their final Pokemon is, and I want to stall out Trick Room. Great, they Psychic. Curious how fast Golden Go is relative to us. Nice, we are faster than it under Trick Room. That's a really big deal in my opinion. And I think Toxicroak has an excellent matchup in the end game against their team, based on what we've seen so far. That's so much damage. They just Shadow Ball into us. Okay, perfect. Feels like Specs damage to me. 2 turns of Trick Room left. I think here I'm happy to just sacrifice the Pelipper, Weather Ball into you, and then just Electro Shot again into Golden Go. Yeah. I also thought about the approach of just KOing the Gothitelle this turn, but I don't think it's worth it. I also think we could maybe contemplate going for a double protect with Pelipper there. So it comes down to what their last one is. If it's Incineroar, it's interesting, right? Because you can fake out into the Toxicroak and Psychic into it, but then I think the Archaludon would just end up winning the 1v1. Because I'm just still free to spam Electro Shot right now. Yeah, I mean, this team just has so many tools. Every member is so offensive, which is awesome. You just have so much damage. Alright, let's find out what the last one is. Primarina. Okay. Last turn of Rain. I think here I'm down to fake out into Gothitelle and just Electro Shot into Primarina. Fake out, I think, just KOs Goth, and then it's a 2v1. Primarina's only, or Gothitelle's only really revealed Psychic and Trick Room so far. And Primarina shouldn't be Specs, because I think Golden Go was. Beautiful. Fake out just KOs Goth. Nice job. And now even if you KO the Archaludon, I think we should win against Primarina. And Moonblast us. Excellent. We survive. Sweet. And now it's just a +3 Electro Shot here. I think Primarina out first over Golden Go may have been better for my opponent. Like, the problem for my opponent was that Golden Go was slower than the Archaludon, so I was able to, you know, not take too much damage from there, and while they had Trick Room up. And that just KOs Primarina. Awesome. But yeah, Toxicroak was really nice late game insurance for us, because once we had reached this game state where Golden Go had fainted, I figured Toxicroak, with Gothitelle being as low as it is, had a really good matchup into everything. But yeah, I think the main thing is the turn 1, I could have just gone for Hurricane. Like, Wave Crash and Rain did so much damage, where I think Wave Crash Hurricane probably would have just gotten the knockout. Then they would have had Golden Go and Primarina in the back, and then I can just, like, Wave Crash Hurricane into the Ursaluna slot, and we just, like, quickly sweep there. So double water into Gothitelle probably wasn't the smartest move, because the defensive Terra on Goth gets around that. I think I had indexed a little bit on Fake Out on turn 1. Our Ghost Terra wasn't super valuable in the end, but I didn't regret it because it gave us the optionality of potentially switching out Pelipper post turn 1. But yeah. Alright, we've got a team that's kind of similar to the first Reg-Age team I featured with Mouseape, Archaludon, and Sinistcha, but this one is Primarina and Rotom Heat. So I think immediately I'm looking at Pelipper plus Basculegion. The problem for this is Mousehold plus the Archaludon, because you could just beat up immediately. Mouse Archaludon is a problem. Sorry, not beat up immediately. You could protect Electro Shot, which is what I'm worried about. If I go Toxicroak plus Pelipper, you could Ghost Terra immediately into the Mousehold, which is a problem. Yeah, the thing is, we really need to get a Terra out from them earlier than later. I don't think I want to bring Incin into this one. No Will-O-Wisp either. They don't have Pelipper, so I wonder if they even have Electro Shot, actually. Probably. I might actually try Toxicroak, Basculegion, Pelipper, Archaludon. Haven't really shown Incin or Amoonguss any love. I think Amoonguss could come out in this one because it pressures Spore onto the Archaludon, but I don't know, into a like supportive Mousehold that's defensive with presumably safety goggles, follow me, taunt. I just don't think it's a very good matchup for it. So let's see. They're gonna go with Mouse Ape. Okay, works for me. Yeah, I think the thing about this is I could see them even Ghost Terroring, but it's pretty free for me to just switch out into Pelipper turn 1. And just Wave Crash into Mouse Hold. The main question is whether or not I want to Terra this. They could also double protect on turn 1. Terraing this takes away Terra from this, but gets rid of the super effective hit of Rage Fist. I definitely want to switch Toxicroak out right now into Pelipper. It's just a question of whether or not I Terra here. I'm down to just commit it. But I think, I don't know, if you're my opponent, it's pretty safe to protect and, like, bulk up turn 1, so maybe it's better to Wave Crash into Annihilate. It would just feel really bad if I Wave Crash into it, Annihilate, like, defensive Terras, and they go for Beat Up. If I were my opponent's shoes and I had a defensive Terra on Annihilate, I think what I would do, personally, is defensive Terra Annihilate, and then protect and bulk up. Okay, no Terra, no switch. That works for me then. Wave Crash just secures the knockout on Mouse Hold. Great. So now at least I've denied your beat up. That's the most important part of this. So I'll take that. And they just Rage Fist. Perfect. And with us tearing, we're definitely surviving this. It's really weak. Yeah. Okay, so happy with the decision I ended up making here ultimately. And now Water Terra Wave Crash is just online, and it does so much damage to everything. We can Tailwind. What are they bringing out? Sinistra? Okay. If you're bringing Sinistra out right now, they'll probably Drain Punch or Rage Fist here. But to be honest, I think I'm happy to just Hurricane into Sinistra and Wave Crash into it. Defensive Terra here. Okay. On a Sinistra, yep. Into Water, that's fine. Like, Choice Band Water Terra Wave Crash just is so strong here. Yep, and they go for Rage Powder, that's fine. That's totally fine because you're not even, like, pressuring Trick Room, right? So we get another Wave Crash off here. Oh my goodness, that almost got a one-hit KO. I do end up fainting, actually, because of Rocky Helmet, though, plus the recoil. I think without Rocky Helmet, we would have survived. So that makes this more interesting. But that's okay. Let me go for bulk up, okay. But I have Tailwind pressure, right? And I'll knock out the Sinistra, so now I can bring out Toxicroak and fake out Tailwind. And now you have no Terra to play with, which is huge. And if I just ignore Annihilate, like, your Rage Fists aren't that powerful yet, right? And Toxicroak has good resistances here, too. Cool. So let's bring out Toxicroak. Let's see what their last one is. Archaludon? Okay, Archaludon's a little bit scary. I think I still definitely want to set up Tailwind. It's just a shame because I really don't want to fake out into it and give it a stamina boost, but I think I might have to. 3 turns of rain left. Do I have to? Okay, I do think I will Tailwind here and fake out. Nice, Annihilate protects. That's awesome. Now I just get good speed control. Cool. The defense boost is scary, but I think it's fine. Yeah, now we have really good speed control. And I think, like, our Archaludon under Tailwind should be enough to finish them off. So now I can launch Hurricane into the Annihilate slot and Close Combat into Archaludon. We're not going to knock out either, but it should put both in a Draco Meteor KO range. And you can't knock out both of my Pokemon right now. Close Combat still does so much damage. Nice. Perfect. Another stamina boost, but that's fine. Hurricane now into the Annihilate. Oh, that's a one-hit KO. Oh, nice. Okay. I was thinking maybe Annihilate was bulky enough to survive that, but with the one-hit knockout, then, yeah, Toxicroak just wins this game. I love late-game Toxicroak with this team. Like, the ability to have a late fake-out, set up Tailwind is awesome. And, yeah, I can't stress how good of an offensive matchup it has into so much of the format with Fighting and Poison. So, they Electroshot Pelipper. Great. And even if Annihilate had attacked that one turn, I think it was still fine, honestly. But with them not attacking, it just, like, instantly, I would say, like... Well, I wouldn't say instantly wins us the game, because I thought maybe it'd be bulky enough to survive. Maybe it was better to just double up onto Annihilate then, honestly, though. Like, I don't know how well Annihilates can take Hurricane. But, yeah, if it's, like, you know, all you need is 10% of chip to guarantee the knockout, even on the bulkiest of Annihilates, then I think it may have been better to double up onto Annihilate. Yeah, because then we don't eat the defense and special defense drop, and then it's like a 3v1 against Archaludon. But either way, Toxicroak and Pelipper, really, really strong. The late game, and Basculegion was amazing in this early game. Okay, we've got Sylveon, Incin, Palafin, Amoonguss, Gallade, and Dragapult. Another Palafin, so Toxicroak is definitely looking solid right now. But we do have to worry about... I think like Toxicroak here does have to worry about Gallade, Amoonguss, and Dragapult. Amoonguss and Spore Us and redirect our attacks away. Gallade, Psychic type damage. Dragapult, if it's support Dragapult, could have Will-O-Wisp. I've just been playing with the top 4 today. So, like, I mean, they do have an Amoonguss here. Makes me wonder, should I be bringing my Incin or Amoonguss? What do I want to lead with? I think, like, there's a decent chance they lead with Palafin. Pelipper, Basculegion doesn't feel too bad. I just, like, these 4 just feel so good because of the amount of offense that I don't feel forced to bring either of these. This does make me kind of Amoonguss weak, though, but we do have Grass Terra on this. Maybe I do want to bring my own Amoonguss in this one. But who would I drop? I just don't want to drop anything. Okay. I decided on dropping Archaludon, but I don't know. I feel like Archaludon's so good here. The main reason for it is because of Gallade. Like, Sacred Sword, Sharpness, just can demolish Archaludon. Also, the fact that it ignores our defense boost, right? But I think the problem is Amoonguss is also just weak to Gallade, so I don't know. I think here I got a little bit spooked because I saw the Amoonguss on their team, and like having something switch into Spore is really valuable. It's gonna be Sylveon Dragapult. Okay. What do I want to do here? I want to flip turn, I think. Flip turn Tailwind? Sylveon protecting or tearing makes sense to me here. I think knocking out Dragapult's also okay, so Hurricane into you. And Banded flip turn into you. Oh, Choice Band Sucker Punch. If I actually just Water Terra there, I could have gone like Water Terra, Wave Crash, Sylveon, Hurricane, and that would have been a totally fine turn 1. But yeah, I got caught by Choice Band Sucker Punch. All right. Nicely done. That's okay, though. I assume you're banded. So what this means is now I can bring out Toxicroak, and I can fake out Tailwind this turn. Dragapult should switch, presumably. Sylveon should protect. I could also just, like, make some hard reads right now, like close combating the Dragapult slot and Tailwinding. I think I do feel pretty behind in this game right now. So I definitely want a Tailwind. The main thing is I could see them switching Dragapult out into Incineroar and protecting Sylveon. So if I get this read, I'm actually suddenly just back in this game. Okay, they protect, but that's fine. I assume they're just Sucker Punching. Yeah. Cool. Ah, man, Choice Band Sucker Punch, though, it's not something I'd even considered at all. Because even with Banded Dragapult, that's not that common of a move, right? You can run, like, Phantom Force, Dragon Darts, U-Turn, and Terra Blast. I'm down to switch into Amoonguss now. Gunk Shot into Sylveon. Sylveon should Terra here is the problem. I'm also curious if Dragapult now switches. But if they want to stay and just keep clicking Sucker Punch, that's fine by me. Yeah, there's the Terra from Sylveon. But this is okay, maybe? Because, like, you're going to keep clicking Sucker Punch with the... Oh, it's Terra Ground. Okay. You're going to keep clicking Sucker Punch with Dragapult. Now I can at least Weather Ball Sylveon. We do have Side Pollen Puff in this one as well. Oh, but did they just have Terra Blast here? Probably, right? Gunk Shot. We do get a Poison, okay. But if it's Terra Blast, like, I just faint anyway. Yeah. This was one where you just, like, the Choice Band Sucker Punch alone put us at such a big deficit. Yeah, it's just entirely too important to... Like, Basculegion was so good in this matchup, right? So I should have just gone for Water Terra, but, like, you know, sometimes in Best of 1, you just forget about stuff like that. And also, it's, like, hard to cover for, right? Dragapult's a pretty flexible Pokemon. You can run Focus Sash with support with Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, for example. So, yeah, that was awesome by my opponent. But, you know, when you lose these games, you should still reflect, okay, like, I got caught off guard by the surprise, but, like, were there better Pokemon I could have brought into the matchup? I don't think Archaludon was a bad bring here. Like, I dropped it because I was worried about Amoonguss. But, yeah, I mean, if we just Terra turn 1, this would be a completely different game. Is it possible to win this? I think it might still be. With Pollen Puff. I'm gonna go Pollen Puff here. Weather Ball into Dragapult. Okay, but they just Sucker Punch. Basically, what I was thinking, like, my opponent could potentially lose this game if they got really careless and they, like, protected Sylveon, switched Dragapult out into Incineroar. I Pollen Puff, like, I KO Incin with Weather Ball and heal back up. Of course, I could have gone for Rage Powder there, but I think I'm too far behind in the game. But, yeah, like, Rage Powder plus Weather Ball was the obvious play and knock out Sylveon. But, yeah, I just did not consider Choice Band Sucker Punch from Dragapult. So, the element of surprise was very, very nice for my opponent in this one. But yeah, I think our team was totally fine. We had so many tools offensively into this matchup. It was more just like a single move completely impacting the game. But yeah, I think like even when I see Dragapult, like Sucker Punch is the last move I would expect. Not the last, like absolute last move, but like I said, on the Choice Band sets or the Life Orb sets, it's kind of hard to fit onto that slot. Because U-Turn, Phantom Force, Dragon Darts, and Terra Blast are all really, really good, right? So dropping one of those, like I would guess they dropped U-Turn here because I would want to run the rest. But yeah, very nicely done by my opponent. If I were to replay that game, especially since they were so aggressive with Sylveon, I think, yeah, simple Water Terra turn 1 would get around Sucker Punch being super effective. And we would have been able to just like Wave Crash, knock them out, Hurricane, and then the subsequent turn, once I know there's Choice Band, we can punish them really heavily by switching into Amoonguss. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, so thank you so much as always for joining me. It was really fun to feature Basculegion and Toxicroak in particular, and Rain continues to just be a really powerful archetype in this format, so keep your eye on it as we continue to develop Regulation H. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Alright, peace.